everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan, an Olympian and beach volleyball world champion and a longtime professional indoor player.
And I'm Adam, former indoor player and coach, current beach volleyball coach, and most importantly, Sarah's husband.
Today we're watching Haikyu Season 4 Episode 20 called Leader. Last episode we went back to the Karasuno and Narizaki match.
Finally.
I thought it was a good break. But Noya was being targeted.
I'm curious to see how he responds. I have faith that he'll figure it out.
No, he was like, keep it coming.
No, I know, but you can have the keep it coming mentality.
He did the push-ups,
and not
the
figure it
fingertip
out.
push-ups, punishing himself on the court.
Yeah, I get that, but you still have to perform. Like, think about how great the Tanaka scene was. If he hits that last ball out of bounds on the cross-court shot, it's totally different. So Noya needs to execute.
He's figuring it out.
Yeah.
We also got the Rintaro introduction a little deeper, just highlighting how good he is at seeing the block, how he can swing against where his body is going. So Tsukushima is going to work on figuring that out because he hasn't been exposed to that yet.
Yeah.
So just a couple little twists here and there, a couple wrinkles.
Did they rattle the Inarizaki left side?
Aaron?
Yeah. Why do I have that in my head?
Well, they were doing flashbacks to how poorly he was passing, and then they were trying to target him and get him to go down to a knee.
That's right.
To take him out of his attacking rhythm.
That's what I was remembering.
Because he was like going over top and just like blowing people up.
Yeah.
So they're like, we need to make this a little more challenging for him.
Yeah.
So we see the chess match unfolding here. We're in the home stretch. I don't want to admit it, but we are. It's so sad but exciting at the same time. So I believe we ended last episode with a substitution happening because Narizaki was starting to make some subs. So.
Do you remember what the score was?
No. If I did, that would be wild. I wish I did.
Karasuno was down in the second set, like pretty big, and they kind of fought back.
They were down huge, and then they started chipping away a little.
But we're still in the second set, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Here we go.
Adam clearly forgets everything, but
no, I was remembering what was happening. I don't remember the score, though.
Here we go. Season 4, Episode 20 of Haikyu is coming right now.
4番オジロアランに代わり1番キャプテン北信介が入ります。録画では見られなかった選手ですね。
オジロにもう一プレッシャーかけたかったな。皆さん、そんな警戒戦でも俺はただの代役、しのぎ役やから怖がらんでもええよ。
いやいや。
誰かが見とるよ、しんちゃん。神さんはそこら中におるからな。誰かが見とるよ。
金、さっきなんで強引に言ったん？
カラスノに来そうな流れを食い止めんとと思うて。
ブロックに捕まって流れはこっちに来んの？
しんすけが入るとなんやみんなピリッとしよるんですよね。あいつの正論パンチ怖いからな。
ナイス
Ooh, jump floating.
後衛セッターの動線を狙いましたね。
Ooh, good swing inside.
Dang.
赤毛。チャンスボール。これ嫌いや。
Dang.
Two great digs by the sub.
That's a great sub.
なんだろう、嫌な感じ。ブレイクされたことはそうなんだけど、さっきまでなら決まっていたであろう場面で決まらない感じ。
俊介みたいなやつがな、たまにおんねん。決してスターやないけど空気を占めるやつ。中学の頃からそんな空気は持っとった。
向こうの4番ストレートないで。
お、行動は無駄がなく、言葉は的確。プレーも未熟ではあったが丁寧。そして今、俊介は自信に満ちている。他の連中より強いという自信ではなく、自分はしくじらないという自信。
北さん、よくとっとってパッと活躍できんな。お前とは経験値がちゃうやろ。でも北さんが初めて試合に出たのって3年になってかららしいけど。
ほんまですか？百戦錬磨みたいな雰囲気出してんのに。
中学で活躍しとってもここじゃ簡単に出られんちゅうことやろ。いや、中学3年間スタメンどころかユニフォームもらったこともないって聞いた。
緊張なんかする意味がわからん。
お前機械かなんかな。うすうす気づいとったけど。
いつも以上の力を発揮しようとするから緊張するんやろ。だって飯食ったりクソしたり毎日のことには緊張なんてせんやんか。バレエと同じや。練習でできとることやったら緊張なんかせんやん。
Let's do some work, Yamaguchi.
もう1年リリーフサーバー。
この人結構決めるよね。
いい感触。
Nice angle. Good platform.
I mean, worth testing the guy who's been on the bench.
Absolutely.
ほう、身体的技術的に特別優れてるわけはない。ただし練習でできとることは本番でも必ずやる。驚かんことが俊介への一番の賞賛。
I know I've talked about this before, but I love the concept of earning your confidence. And this to me is just the prime example of that. He doesn't get to play, he's not a standout, but everybody knows that what he says he's going to do and what he does in practice, he has worked hard enough to know that he can do it in a game. And I love that concept, and I love that on a great team, they have a captain who doesn't play. I think that just speaks so much about his character.
And even in middle school, he wasn't even given a uniform.
Yeah. But everybody respects him. You can tell all of those guys, there's just an aura about him. And I love that. I love listening to all of that. And just, it's so simple, but it's so hard to accomplish. But it makes total sense. Anything you have done in practice, you should be able to do in a game. That concept is so straightforward and makes so much sense, and yet our heads get in the way so often.
I have so many feelings about this character, and I have so many thoughts. Like I'm gonna like
You need to
hold
wait?
off
Okay.
and like.
But my initial read on this is I love everything about him, and I love the way he approaches things.
なんやつむ、風邪か。休まんで平気な。
大したことない。バレエせんと悪化する。
おお、根性やな。バレエ愛や。
帰れや。体調管理できてへんことを褒めんな。
とばっちりや。冷た。風邪ひいてまう。
なんやねん。もっと優しい言い方ないんかい。泣いてまうやろ。梅干しって
ちあんねん。ちゃんと
Yes. Yes.
体調管理
This is you.
片付けいただきます。挨拶バレーボール
気にせんでええ。あれはしんすけの儀式やから。
神さんはどこにでもおるからな。
ばあちゃんはいつも言うとったけど、そのうち俺はどっちでもええなって思うようになった。神さんのためにやっとるわけやないしな。反復継続丁寧は心地ええんや。
This is you.
誰かが見とるよ。
一番来た。
はい。
次2番大耳。はい。
北さんってもっと機械みたいな人だと思ってた。
That makes me miss the eye.
結果より過程が大事と大人が言うて、子供はいまいち納得せん。でも俺は大人に大賛成や。俺を構築するのは毎日の行動であって、結果は副産物に過ぎん。将来バレーボールで飯食ってくわけでもないしな、俺は。
But even if you are,
でもこれも結果のうちかな。
100%.
細かいことはええねん。感情に理由なんかいらん。嬉しいは嬉しいんでええんや。何笑うとんねん。
せやな。
This show's gonna kill me. I swear I'm fine.
Are you gonna tell me your thoughts now?
He's my favorite character.
That does not surprise me at all.
And honestly, biggest compliment ever that Adam said that I was like Kita.
Carbon copy.
Biggest compliment ever.
You're a mix. So when I first saw Kageyama, you were Kageyama. Like there was no doubt in my mind. I know you hated that.
Look at this jerk. It's you.
But you are a mix of the best parts of Kita and Kageyama. Because this is you to a T. We do, and you know, we talk about this all the time about you doing things and going through your rhythm and being so methodical. And honestly, as a coach, if there is one thing that you can teach young athletes, it's that the process is more important, and it's the small things that you stack on top of each other to make you great. And it's so hard for young kids and young athletes, and me, like even in my 20s, to actually,
we're talking a while ago here. Everybody.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not just like 14 to 16. Like that mindset takes so long to understand and develop when you're young. But for those athletes who get it, or when you have a coach or a teacher who teaches those things to you at a young age, like they're so beneficial and so hard to do because it's not always fun.
And he learned it from his grandma.
Yeah, which I love.
It's like nobody is gonna hold you accountable, but someone is always watching.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, yes. But he's so mature because even at his age, he's like, yeah, it's hard to get kids to understand this.
Yeah.
Referring to his own teammates.
Yeah. 100%.
But
And they think he's a robot. Like that's the funny part of it, right? Is that they don't understand. Most kids at this age are like Kenma. They want to go play video games and they step on the court, they're ready to play. and then they go. They don't understand why he would clean, why he would do this,
No,
why
but
he would
even
do
like
all the little things.
why he would get so emotional.
Yeah.
Like they were like, oh, he just goes through and just
Yeah.
does everything automatically. But it's just
Yeah.
like the act of receiving that jersey, especially with the captain bar underneath, is
Yeah.
just like, oh, people are paying attention in all the work that I'm doing. Even though I don't do it for praise and even though I don't do it for attention, it hasn't gone unrecognized. And
Yeah.
like that made me cry even more when he got his uniform, because it's like, no, people notice. And even just like, I think leadership is service, and the way that he like gave Atsumu like stuff to make him feel better, like nobody else would have done that.
Yeah.
But he made this observation about his teammate and is like going out of his way to help him. Like just the whole concept just makes me so emotional.
Yeah. Lead by example and treat people the way you would want to be treated. Like if you find people who do that, those are your captains, those are your leaders, no matter how good they are. This guy's in the love house, hands down.
In the bro house, maybe.
That's what I meant.
He's been in the love house.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
幸いだちゃんとやんね
Yes.
アランやリンタロウ、アツムが相手に絶望を与える存在とするならば、シンスケの役目は絶
Ooh, I
望の
like that.
継続や。
さあ稲荷崎高校セッ
This
ト
is
ポ
a
イントを
beat
迎え
down.
ました。
Oh, yeah.
諦めんな。たったの8点ポッチビハインドだ。
多分このセットを落とす問題はどう落とすか
Yes.
第2セット終盤の雰囲気はファイナルセットまで影響するなんとか上向きで置いてくれ
If they can get 2 or 3 points here, that'd be
この
good.
セットは取ったな。
いや、わからんで。去年6点差からひっくり返されたことあったからな。新記録更新。
Okay, so they have been here before and don't want to repeat.
村っ気があるからな。
この人怒鳴るも殴るもしないのに圧が強すぎんだよあらゆる面で隙がなさすぎんだよなうわもう来てる近道ないかな
赤点とは
もっと舐める隙を与えてほしいそう例えばペットに赤ちゃん言葉で話しかけてる現場とかを抑えたい
えらいでちゅね
北を入れんのは守備強化のためだけや。点差が開いた時、勝ち急いだり緩んだり、視力ながらメンタルが未熟な2年連中の空気を占める。それは北以外におらん。
You need somebody on every team that makes you feel a little
負けず
uncomfortable.
嫌いがたまに悪い方へ作用するオサムは集めよりおとなしく見えても DNA 一緒やし銀は責任感と熱意ゆえ決め急ぎがち素直は点差がつくか勝ちが見えてくるとサボり出す見逃さんからな
5番は1セット目ラストで持ち直したほんなら俺のサーブでもっぺん落としたる
点差があっても容赦なし。
よし
ダウンボール。
来た止めに来な
Ooh.
No momentum gained.
I love how Rentaro's peeked his head around.
強力なサーブと強力な速攻で。
That was a great move by their coach to know their team and how they function.
カラスの高校なすべなし。
Because Inarizaki needed to win that set without giving them anything.
Yep.
This third set's gonna be a barn burner.
Hope so.
Probably gonna flip the screen, it's gonna be 10-10.
稲荷崎10番の速攻止まんねえな
つうかカラスノのブロック反応良さげなのにザルじゃね
さっきから同じとこ抜かれてるしな。
Wow, okay.
よし、切り替えていくぞ。
こ コート外で静かな西野谷君は初めて見る。集中している。
Focused on taking care of what he needs to take care of.
練習で失敗してた時の癖が出てたよ、西野谷。
Kinoshita, baby.
しっかりしろよ。すげえ練習したじゃんかよ。大丈夫だって。
Even the encourager needs encouragement sometimes.
お前ならできるとは言えない。西野谷でもちゃんと取れるかわかんねえ強烈なサーブが宮敦夢のサーブで現実だ。あと俺は人を励ますのが苦手だ。自分のことでいっぱいいっぱいだから。でも自分のことなら言える。A パスなんかなくても俺が決めてやる。
That is, you might not know what to say and you might be just in your own head, which we know Asahi is most of the time, but he said what needed to be said within his capacity to express like what Noya needed to hear.
Yeah, well, and there's only, listen, as an athlete, when you suck, you know. Like, that's, Noya knows he's not doing his job and he's not passing as well as he can. You can say whatever you want about how good the serve is. At the end of the day, that's his job and he's not doing. Nobody can fix that for him, but by Asahi saying, hey, it doesn't have to be an A pass. If you can get me the ball, I will side out. That alleviates the pressure of having it to be perfect. And that in and of itself is probably the best thing he could say.
Yeah, and I mean, Kinoshita has been working on his serving while Noya's been passing, so they have that connection and just the like reminder, like, hey, you can do this. You've been there before. I will go back to what Kita said and Rintaro being like, gosh, this guy just like never lets up. It is nice to have somebody on your team like that, but when it also forces people to get really uncomfortable and look at what they aren't doing, and I can speak from experience in this, like it can definitely breed resentment because it is easier typically for people to see that as your expectations are too high, you do too much, as opposed to seeing it as like an example.
Yeah. And that happens all the time. You have people who work out more than others. You have people who practice more than others. Like, a lot of people will have their niche, but it's very rare to find people who do all aspects of what they're doing kind of to that maximum. And it's a very hard standard to live up to because it takes an incredible amount of discipline. And you're right, but you also need those people if your team wants to have success.
No, 100%. And it's not like Kita does those things to shine a light on all of his teammates' shortcomings. He's doing those things just because that is in the fabric of who he is.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, some people use that as motivation and as an example, and other people use it as an excuse and as a reason to like have that resentment.
Yeah, 100%.
I've seen it happen both ways.
All the time.
Yeah. You were halfway there.
お前はやはりタイミングとかがあれだよね。
あ、なんだよ。朝日、よく言った。俺も言いたかった。
アツム、お前。
Their instinct is just to help each other.
Yeah.
スパイクサーブやりたなっとるやん。やっぱスパイクサーブで吹っ飛ばす方がかっこええな。ジャンフロー飽きてきたしな。なんでバレんの？今決まってんのはジャンフロの方やろ。リベロ潰し始めたんなら最後までせえや。
Wait, how does he know that? Set 3, baby, anything can happen.
Here we go, here we go.
Is keyed on the floor.
You got this.
Out.
It's gonna flow back in. Don't flow back in. Oh.
That's tough.
いやー、僕もアウトだと思いましたよ。
アツム、
Nice
気に切るやな。
Yeah, nothing you can do about that.
決まりそうやけどな。
You know when the sack starts, it's getting serious.
あんま変わらんかもな。
アツムにジャンフロやれ言うとったよ。
But he won't
ア
listen.
ツムのサーブならどっちも強烈や。でも、スパイクサーブに変えて、相手にうまいことさばかれたとき、やっぱりジャンフロやっとったらよかったって記憶が残る。けど、調子のええジャンフロ取られたんやったら、アツムの性格的に闘争心に火がついて、
He just knows his teammates so well.
ジャンフロやりきった方が、後々のアツムのモチベーションがええと思うで。
これこんな当たるから怖いね。
Come on.
Get
You
it.
can do it!
Okay, thank you. Oof.
足が床に張り付く。
Oh, I hate that
自分の反応が
feeling.
いつもより遅いとわかる。そうか。俺は今怖いと思っている。
レフト集めた
Got
There
him.
you go, just like he said he would.
朝日がいつになく頼もしいな。
That's kind of a backhanded compliment.
たまにはいっぱいいっぱいになっていい。
カラスノはローテ回してきたんだな。
That's his Ukai knows what he's doing.
つぐるくん、クロート語りしてもいいんですよ。
あ、バレーに特別変わったルールがあるとしたらローテーションシステムだと思うんだけど、サーブの順が来るたびにみんなのポジションが1個ずつ時計回りにずれてくやつね。どの位置でスタートするかは1セットごとに決めて提出すんの。例えばよくあるのはセッターが後衛の最初からスタートするローテ。そうすれば前衛の攻撃が3枚いる状態から始められるから。あとはサーブが強いやつから始めるとかも多いね。稲荷崎はセッターがビッグサーバーだからこの両方に当てはまる。稲荷崎は多分このスタートはいつも固定で相手の出方なんか関係ねえ、自分らの強いローテから始めるんだいって感じ。
When you're that
クラ
good.
スノは
Yeah.
猛進って感じのチームなのに意外と試行錯誤してくるタイプっぽいね。稲荷崎はどのローテもまんべんなく強い感じだけど、やっぱ4番、10番、11番が前にいる時が攻撃力は高そう。カラスノの方は極端なんだよね。
A little more extreme.
ブロッカーチビ10番は攻撃特化でどこに置こうがお構いなしに点を稼ぐ点取りマシン。あとおとり効果が高いのが特徴。メガネ11番はブロックの要っぽいから相手の
This guy's got good volleyball IQ.
Yeah.
いやでもやっぱ宮厚のサーブを切ることに全力を注ぐべきか。
He'd make a good coach.
いやでもビッグサーバースタートも捨てがたい。セッターか。
So many options.
自己喋り野郎は嫌われる。ごめん喋りすぎました。
スタートする位置、稲荷崎は同じでカラスノは変えてきたってことは、例えばアタック打つぞって時にさっきとは違う人がブロックに来たりするよってこと？
そうなの。マッチアップが変わってくるんです。
Interesting they lined up Kageyama with Aaron and not Tsukushima, but maybe I think they lined him up with Rintaro instead.
Yeah.
Smart move! And that's why they did it.
Yeah.
日向がビビってどうする。カラスノのローテの意図はおそらくここ。メガネと双子速攻を一番多くマッチアップさせるためのローテ。
Because he wasn't having much luck with
They
Rintaro because he's
lined,
weird.
they lined him up with Osamu.
Yeah, and I actually like that because Tsukishima is such a disciplined puzzle piece kind of understanding that the Rintaro, the middle, he just does weird things. It's hard to get a read on players who aren't quote unquote traditional for somebody like Tsukishima. Whereas Hinata's weird himself, so he might have better luck like being up in the air, changing his body position, kind of matching Rintaro with the weird movements and twists and things like that. So I like this move a lot, actually.
And Kageyama's a better blocker than Daichi, and to put him with Aaron, I think is a good idea.
Yeah, I like this move by Ukai overall, especially because you know Inarazaki's not going to change anything. Like,
yeah,
they always start Asumu serving, and that's going to be a huge difference maker in this set, I think.
つむのサーブに西野谷を真ん中でマッチアップさせなくてもどうやら狙ってくるからな。物好きで月島は宮治と須名倫太郎、この2人とより多くマッチアップしてもらう。
双子速攻っすか。
ああ、あれが一番の想定外だったからな。頼むぜ、エンジン速攻キラー。
はあ、はい。
日向の犬岡作戦はいい感じだったけど、いかんせん日向の代わりに真ん中でブロック飛ぶ田中がそろそろしんどいからな。
なんてことねえと言いたいが、真ん中はきつい。
大役を任された僕に嫉妬かな、月島くん。
ごめんね、君の大役取っちゃった。
いつでも煽りを忘れない月島。仕事に。
And he's late.
Hinata started it.
Oh,
nice.
Make a big move out here.
Cogs.
やはり一番乗せたくないのはオジロアラン。もう一枚奴の前に高い壁をぶつけたい。
Big move.
Dive angle. Oh! Nothing feels better than that.
That's exactly how I wrote it up.
That is the best feeling in volleyball. Give it to him.
That was a big move.
No cheer. That's cold. No reaction. That's a really cool image.
覆いかぶさってくるあの手は恐怖以外の何者でもない。そんで怖くないブロックはブロックじゃねえ。メガネよりこいつの方がよっぽど怖えじゃん。
Oh, Four Eyes is gonna be scary. Oh, I love that. Do you agree with me? A solo block one-on-one where you get a really good hitter, I don't think anything feels better than that.
Agreed. I would agree.
Oh. And he didn't even dive, he just dropped his hand into the seam. Boop. Oh, that's a thing of beauty.
And the lack of cheer after just proves that he's like, yeah,
killer.
I expected to do that.
Yeah.
This is nothing to me.
You have one of two reactions. That's either you lose your mind and like everybody is cheering, or you're just cold. And that was
cold.
That was the Pavan stuff and stare, right
But
there.
he just did it at the side of his eye too. He's like, I don't even need to give you a full look.
Oh, what a way to end an episode. I love that.
I love that episode so much.
I can see why. It was, I mean, they got hammered in the second set. It is what it is. It was good to see Asahi kind of be a part of the team. He never really talks. He never says anything. He's always just kind of there. And I know he's had his own arc, but for whatever reason, he always feels kind of separate from the team. And so for him to come in and, as awkward as he was, just say, you know what, set me, get the ball up, I'll take care of it. And then for him to do that, I think was huge for team morale, especially for Noya.
Well, he's not like a vocal leader. He is like so insecure. He doesn't have a ton of confidence. So he's always just trying to like manage himself, which totally fine. But yeah, I agree.
But even think about the character arc from being shut down to looking at him at nationals and being like, it doesn't matter, just get me the. And then it's one thing to say it, but then to actually do it, clutch.
I think the biggest thing we're missing from this episode is Kita.
Yeah.
Adam's like, so let's dive into the volleyball that was like a third of the episode. No. We met my favorite character. I love him so much. That's all I have to say.
I mean, we spent a good amount of time talking about him when we see him, but that's, again, you can look at probably any successful team and they will have somebody like him. You need somebody to lead the way who does it right every day. That is the culture that builds winning teams, period.
They have nailed the different types of athletes
100%.
in the show, like perfection.
Yeah.
Every athlete we've met, I can think of somebody who fits that mold pretty much across the board.
Who, besides yourself, that you've played with reminds you of Kita?
Oh gosh, I have to go back in the memory bank.
Just, yeah, who the first person that comes to mind?
Probably as a girl I played with in college, Tracy Stalls. On a professional level, Fafau probably.
Ooh, good choice.
She was older when I played with her, so she couldn't like practice every day, but like, yeah.
For me, it was, guy that I played with was Paul Herkel. He always did it right. He didn't really cut corners. But professionally, when I coached in Brazil, it was Bruno. Like, he was...
Obvi.
What you say, Obvi, and he's obviously had a lot of success.
No, because I know him. Like, yeah, of course it was him.
You know, I did a lot of the video stats for them. He was always the one who would come to me and say, what about this rotation? What about this rotation? What about this rotation? Practice would end and he would go out and he would set his sets and just get into a rhythm. Like, he just did all of the little things right, and it was just so impressive to see like that leadership, kind of similar to Fafau. They're both great Brazilian setters, but
there you go.
Yeah.
Great episode. I know you guys love Kita too. Do you love him as much as me though? Is the question.
Probably not.
It's a competition. I will fight for him. So please let us know what you are thinking down in the comments below. And as always, we'd be so excited if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned because more Haikyu is coming next week. Thanks, guys.